What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new Toyota Corolla, see what this car has going on inside. Now let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what is powering Toyota's compact economy car. So if I can find the latch, the hood is surprisingly heavy, not gonna lie, for being how little it is. But underneath the hood, this packs a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated, pumping out 169 horsepower with 151 pound-feet of torque. It is front-wheel drive, and it is a CVT, continuous variable transmission. Let's take a look at the styling. This color is really cool. It's kind of a steel gray, bluish color, so pretty cool looking. And I love the new sharp styling. I think Toyota did a great job. Of course, we know the GR Corolla is kind of the big boy in the Corolla lineup. This has a lot of that inspiration. We get these really sweet headlights. You can see the DRLs down below, kind of a blacked out design. And then a really sharp body line cutting through, some more body work, a little bit of a trim piece, and then more body color down below. The grille is massive on this little eco car. You can see all the mesh in it. It's a pretty cool looking car. Like, really, Toyota killed it. For a little economy car, it actually looks fun and cool. If we go around to the sides, so this one is an LE trim level, so more on the base model. We do get some steelies, and we got the plastic aluminum colored hubcaps. Sharp body line around the wheel arch, and then another sharp body line going through the entire side profile. A little bit of body molding down below, and then we get body color on the mirror caps and the side door handles. You can also see some black for the B and C pillar. Not bad proportions. It's a pretty compact car. However, it doesn't look super small and stubby like others. So they sized it nicely. It looks pretty good. As we make our way to the back, we still get halogen taillights, so nothing fancy back here like LED or anything. But I like how we get the red and the clear, and then kind of a dark trim that fades to the black that connects the two taillights. We get your Toyota logo, Corolla, and a camera, and then a pretty sharp line back here as well. Get some reflectors, a little tiny tailpipe, and then more of this black plastic trim in the lower portion of the rear bumper, just to give it a sporty looking aspect. So not too bad looking back here. Moving to the trunk, we have a button on the key fob I can just press. It opens nicely, manually assisted all the way up. And we have a pretty large trunk. It's actually pretty surprising how much space there is. And with the seats folded down, you can see just how much more space there is. Pretty roomy and practical car. It's about $24,000, so really cheap car, and you get quite a lot of space. 3 different colors along the door, and then you can see the opening into the trunk. If we just pull the seat up and get these back to where they were, we do get the armrest in the center with some cup holders, and I like the light gray fabric along with the dark gray. So it gives it a pretty cool two-tone. If I hop back in here now, so I'm 5'11", a little bit of a small car, but I still get some knee room. My headroom is actually fine. It's just this is a little close to my face. But other than that, it's actually a pretty roomy little car. Let's go into the front seat now, see what it's like behind the wheel. So I'll grab the door handle and open it up, and you're gonna see the same 3 colors. You get the dark gray fabric, light gray plastic, and then the black plastic. Windows, mirrors, and unlock, and then a cool grab handle, and then all of your manual controls on the seat and the bar up in front. You can see that same light gray that we saw in back, and I really like this cool design you're gonna see on the dark gray for the backrest. So pretty fun design. Now getting in here, my knee has smacked this corner. So if you are nearly 6 feet tall, be careful getting in, because your knee can easily smack that, and it hurts quite a lot. But with that said, in the car, not too bad, pretty decently roomy. There's a lot of foot room in here. The dash kind of cuts forwards, which is a cool touch. And then no push button start, and being a base model. But if we fire that up, everything turns on. And we can take a look at the gauge cluster. You get the large tack on the left, speedometer in the center, and a small screen over on the right side. You can use this to control that. So if I scroll up and down, you can see a few things. In this menu for the up and down, average MPG, scrolling left and right, a few other things will come up for safety information. We get your cruise control settings on the right with your lane keeping, as well as the forward pacing, and some Bluetooth and audio controls down below that. Headlights and turn signals on the left, windshield wipers on the right, and then you do get automatic high beams and then the interior dimming. That gray fades its way from the door onto the dash, nice little air vent, and then that silver trim piece all the way on the other side. Looks pretty cool. You can see a nice contour on this part. We have the infotainment screen, which is pretty basic, what you've seen in a lot of other Toyotas. Not too many features on it. We have these shortcuts all on the left side. There's no apps or anything installed on this one, but of course those could be available. Volume and power, tuning on the right. And then going into reverse, we get your backup camera that will pop up nicely. Pretty decent graphics. All of your climate controls down here with air conditioning, your fan speed, along with the single zone temperature, your off button, as well as the zones. There is some storage here. Get some leather material for the shift boot, traction control up top, all the way down into your drive modes. The B is engine braking, which is a pretty cool feature. Electronic park and brake and brake hold. Then some cup holders, more of that dark gray fabric. And it's a pretty roomy one here. You can fit a couple phones maybe. And then the actual glove box, pretty roomy as you would expect. So not a bad interior, pretty nicely laid out for being a budget car. We have some dome lights up top as well as your mirror, and it seems pretty roomy. So with that said, let's take this out for a spin. All right, so setting off now in the Toyota Corolla. I don't think I've ever driven one of these, so it'll be cool to see what their entry-level car has to offer. You can opt for a bigger 4-cylinder as well as the hybrid, and then of course the GR, which is a pretty fun sporty turbo. So this one, getting up to speed in the normal drive. You know, giving it half throttle, it gets up to speed for sure. Certainly doesn't sound like anything too special. It is, you know, a budget economy car at the end of the day. However, it gets up to speed without redlining, without straining the engine much. So it's nice that it's at least adequately powered, even in the slowest form, to where you can get up to speed and get good gas mileage and just drive around like a normal little car. Normal driving in it, it's actually pretty comfortable. These seats have some good padding. You know, not the most comfortable seats in the world, but honestly, they support me nicely. I don't think I would have an issue long term. Materials are decent in here. Everything is just normal plastic. I like how it is a soft touch at least, so it does feel a little bit more premium. This one is nice and hard, which is why your knee can smack that if you're not carefully. But, you know, this one over here is a little bit softer. Door panel is hard as well. So decent interior, I would say, you know, rubber on the steering wheel. But you have a really good view out. The windshield is pretty large, and you have a lot of glass all on the side, especially those little windows. That really helps out a lot. Steering is super effortless, really, really lightweight, and pretty good visibility. I wish those backrests, or the headrest back there, I wish they folded down. I think that would have made it a little bit better. However, it's not too bad, at least just looking around. Getting up to some speed again. You can feel it, I'd say maybe struggle a little bit first getting up to speed, especially on a small little hill. So it's definitely not anything performance focused or really anything that is going to blow your socks off. Driving it in the B down here is really cool for the engine braking. It basically is for if you're in the mountains or something, that way you're not just riding the brake the whole time down the hill. It's going to use the engine as a little bit of resistance. So if I get up to some speed, the transmission is basically going to hold a little bit higher RPM. And when I let off the gas, the RPMs are still at 3,000, kind of holding me back a little bit. Going into drive, it goes down a lot lower, and it's more like you're coasting in neutral. So it's nice they give you that. Basically, it's like a low range gear. That way, if you are doing anything in the mountains, you can have that instead of just coasting and just riding your brakes. So normal driving, not too bad in the car. It seems decently comfortable. Suspension's nice and soft. It's a little noisy. On the smooth road, it's nice, but once you get on a more bumpy road, it gets a little bit more noisy. But then getting into a parking lot, turning circle is nice and tight, and you can zip it around town for sure. So not a bad option for just the normal day-to-day driving.